This is not flattering, but that's okay. It took me forever, honestly, to start this video because I wasn't sure I was going to share this type of private things. I've shared a lot on my YouTube channel about my journey, but today is gonna be a little different, I guess. Yesterday, I got an email from my lawyer that next month I'll have the exam for my naturalization to become a US citizen. So I am so freaking happy. It's not gonna be easy because I still have to study. It's gonna be like 100 questions about politics and the government that I have to know. I'm aware of that, of course, and I will. I'm at page 3 and I'm doing pretty good so far. But, you know, it's still something that keeps me on my toes. And also I'm super pregnant. So it's gonna be like a few weeks before I deliver our baby.
Name the US war between the North and the South.
Civil War.
Yes. What movement tried to end racial discrimination?
Civil rights movements.
What is the rule of law?
Then nobody is above the law. Everybody must follow the law.
Correct. What is the supreme law of the land?
The Constitution. You doubted that one.
During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States?
Capitalism.
Nope.
No, sorry, communism. Sorry, communism.
Get you kicked out immediately.
Communism. Yes, I came to the United States 14 years ago, almost 15 years ago. Well, in 2010, actually 14 years ago almost. It actually feels much longer than that. I am going to share how I felt, why I thought American was better, what is better for a lot of things compared to Italy, what Italy is better for other things instead, how I feel after all these years here, how hard it was, like the cultural shock moving from Italy to the United States. You know, we have the American dream. The American dream for other countries, and I only speak for Italy since I'm from there, and I know a lot of people from there, obviously, is that in America, all the dreams are coming true. Almost. Yes and no. Why I wanted to come here is because in this country there's a lot of meritocracy, and so something that I didn't find back then in Italy. I used to be an actress, and you only worked if you knew someone, if you were related to someone else. And yes, it is here as well, if you know someone, right? If you have the right connections, if you are related to someone who's already famous, for sure, of course, in every field, I guess it's that way. But I felt that here, if you had talent, I still feel that way actually. I feel that here in the United States, if you have a talent and you work for it, sooner or later, you can make it happen. There are a lot of more possibilities. You can invent yourself, and that's what I needed, and that's what I did, and that's what I also have people with, and that's what excites me the most as well. So when I moved here, it was 2010. I used to be an actress there in Rome. I'm from Treviso originally. I lived 2 years in Milan, 6 in Rome. Then I moved to New York 2 weeks before I turned 30 years old. Without knowing English, I knew a couple of words, you know, a couple of sentences. I studied English in school. I thought I knew it. I couldn't understand anything, you know, the American way. But even the British way, I thought I understood British people, but nope. And I went to English school. I've learned English. And I went to acting school as well. I couldn't understand a word there either, but I went anyway. Great. Now the dishwasher is running. But what if I do this? And this is because I'm not planning my videos. I actually shoot them whenever I feel like it. And maybe I should wait until the dishwasher is done. Catch you later. Let's get all cozy together. I have to set up the studio here. In order to make a video downstairs, I preferred it because there was a natural light and it was better. But anyway, here we are. And coming upstairs, I was thinking, like, what am I gonna talk about? There's so many things that I want to tell you about, you know, the differences between Americans, Italians, but I don't think that that's really relevant. I used to have a stand-up set about that, about dating Americans versus Italians, but that ship has sailed. But I think it's important to, for this channel, for the people who are watching this channel who are wanting to be, you know, coaches, entrepreneurs, and knowing my story, and hope that will inspire you as well, whether you are from the US or wherever other country you are. I'm not telling you that you should move anywhere. I'm just telling you that once you leave your comfort zone, you learn how to swim, pretty much, or you go back to your own country or to your own ways. So for me, I'm gonna try to make sense of this video they're gonna share. You know, obviously English is not my first language, so I do think in English now though, but sometimes I pause because I'm trying to find the right word. Sometimes I doubt myself when I talk. I'm like, oh, did I say it right? You know, that's why I pause in between sentences, you know, between words sometimes. And also because I have a lot in my mind, you know, I have like so many things that are going on at the moment. And I'm gonna try not to be vulnerable too much in this video, like to be myself, but not like to cry or anything. But the holidays are close, and when the holidays, oh my gosh, I don't want to cry. Honestly, I don't want to. But when the holidays are close, I miss my family in Italy so much. And I have my family here in the US. I'm an American citizen. Woohoo! I got my citizenship this year, finally, after 14 years that I've been here. My husband is a citizen. I have two amazing kids with him, and we are very happy. But I miss my family of origin in Italy. My mom, my sister, my brother, my dad, they're all there. Oh, and also, you know, my former friends that I grew up with. And it's not always easy to travel, you know, especially when you have small kids. With that said, I try to be vulnerable but not cry, okay? I'm gonna try at least. It's funny because when I moved from New York to Los Angeles, people ask me all the time, did you have a cultural shock? And I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, from New York to LA, like, is that very different? Two different paces, for sure. But the real cultural shock that I had is when I moved from Italy to New York at first. That was shocking. But not because just of the language, the way that people were thinking, talking, and in a positive way. At the beginning, I couldn't really understand it, especially in the customer service restaurants, why the servers were so nice. You know, you go to at least back in the days, you went to a restaurant, you go to a restaurant in Italy, in Rome, they're like, what do you want? Okay, and then they throw the forks and the knives. It's like the part of the show sometimes, the part of what they are. But I worked at restaurants in Rome as well, and you know, that's just the style. Like, no, how's your day going? Oh, really? Oh, it's raining outside. Who cares, you know? But here people live with tips as well. So anyway, that's another chapter that I could talk about forever. But that was really shocking for me. And also the depth of certain things, the things that I've learned in New York when I first moved there. And, you know, I studied acting. I went one of the best acting schools, which is Susan Batson. I think it's called Black Nexus now. It was just amazing. It was mind-blowing, the things that I've experienced there. And, you know, the people that I also have encountered in New York is such an amazing experience. Definitely, I'm happy that I'm not living there with a family right now, because it can be very chaotic. I used to live in Manhattan. That's, I think, how you say it. And, you know, when you're trying to learn a new language, when you're trying to really get used to things, to a new food, even food, like, let's talk about food. Oh my gosh, let's talk about food. That is the thing that I miss nowadays still, that I just wanna, I don't cook much. I cook for my husband, for my kids, sure, but I'm not great at it. Okay, I do it, but it's not my real it's not my purpose. It's not my real passion. I actually made lasagna, but it was really hard to make the fresh bechamel, the bechamel. It was really hard. You could, here at least, close to LA where I'm living, you couldn't really find it at the store, so I made it from scratch. the food is really what I miss. And now I haven't been to Italy in a little over a year. We were there last year, and I feel it. You know, I go to some like Italian deli around here. Sometimes we get stuff. I also like American food, and people say, oh, there's no such a thing as American food. Well, what about the turkey? We're gonna have turkey in this week. You know, it's almost Thanksgiving, as the day that I'm shooting this video. And I love that. Sweet potatoes, oh my goodness, we don't have those in Italy. We have them, but we call it American potatoes, and they're great. They're sweet, but they're great. Here, you guys, we have Americans. We have the orange potatoes. They are sweet potatoes. My favorite. So it's not just the food, of course. It's a lot of things that I miss about Italy, but I also, a lot of other things that I prefer about the United States. Like, this country gave me so freaking much at a mindset level, as opportunity level, so much. And I am very proud that I'm an American citizen. I'm also very proud that I'm from Italy. And I don't know if you are watching, if you are where you're from, right? But there's a lot of people who are from somewhere, living somewhere else. And that this part of me that I was talking to some friends here, some Italian friends, and also from people from other countries living here, that you kind of feel like American, even if you're not a citizen, right? You feel Americanized because you agree with a lot of things. You feel yourself that you are merging, you are adapting, but also you don't feel fully American. And also you don't feel fully Italian or from France or for wherever else in the world, because you left a place where you were from. You were born there perhaps and raised there. So there are things from both countries that you love. You feel that your heart is in both places. And so I don't feel Italian 1,000%. I know I'm from there, but when I go back, I can't wait to come back here. And, you know, sometimes with my husband, we talk about, you know, that we're gonna retire there, but I don't know. Our kids are young right now, but when they grow up, are they gonna stay here? I'm not gonna leave my kids here by themselves. I mean, unless they go to college and they want to, but I wanna be there for them, right? And if they come with us, great. I don't know what's gonna happen in 20 years. We will see. I definitely like this slower pace there. Even if I'm like close to LA, here is very slow. I'm very often at home all day, right? With kids or working or shooting or with clients. I don't have a super fast paced lifestyle. But when people talk about the lifestyle in Italy that is very slow paced, it's like time stops there. You know, you go out on a Wednesday at 5 p.m., maybe 7 p.m. to have a prosecco with a friend for half hour, and then you come home and you have dinner with your family, and or for a coffee, for an espresso, like a 10-minute with a friend. You just catch up and say, I'll catch you later. Here doesn't really happen, let alone in LA, that if you're from somewhere, you know, on the east side, you're not gonna meet a friend on the west side. That's not gonna happen. Or even in New York, I used to live in Harlem, and meeting a friend in Brooklyn, that was happening like once every 6 months. Or yes, you meet midtown, but it's harder. It's like a lot of work behind it, you know? And so I miss a little bit like the small town lifestyle, which where I am is kind of a small town as well, but it's different. Like, you probably, because I have kids, I have a family now, and so I'm like, okay, if I have free time, I spend it for work, or I spend it, if my kids are home, with my kids, or some self-care, right? It's hard that you meet up with a friend for like 20 minutes. And so I miss that about Italy, that is all close to each other. You know, you go downstairs from your apartment or out of your house and you have a bar. It's not a bar where you drink, is a bar where you can get a coffee. You know, you meet people, you have a croissant, un cornetto, you know. It's like little things like that. Oh, you go window shopping. Here you gotta, you know, pack the car, go to the mall. It's a little different. And so I miss that. But I also love the comfort of here, of the United States. Like, I love the AC. Are you kidding me? I've never had AC in my life in Italy. I don't even know how I survived. I know, like, you know, first world problems. But it's like now we go to Italy, it was like, and I'm always complaining about how hot it is. Before it was like not a big deal. We went there, when was it, like 3 years ago during the summer, and it was hot, like almost unbreathably hot. And so when I moved, you know, I was on a student visa, and then I got an artist visa because I worked as an actress in Italy and then in the United States as well. I wrote scripts, I produced a few things, I won some awards, and it was nice, right? And that's how I got my papers and how I renew them. Everything I wanted was to become a citizen, because only if you had the green card, at least back in the days when I was on a artist visa, there were some studios, some Hollywood studios, that will not hire on an artist visa. There were some people that only wanted the green card holders, and I felt that as a limitation. So I really wanted to become a citizen. I really wanted to become an American. I really wanted to become, you know, known as an actress. And how life is fantastic, but also super weird, because I then realized that I couldn't care less. I didn't want to be a famous actress anymore. I knew that I had a bigger purpose. And now that I became a citizen, I love this country. I want to live here. I'm living here. Oh my goodness, I'm so fortunate, blessed, grateful, honored to be an American citizen. But my home is where my family is. So before, I was so attached. I was single, right? I was by me, myself, and I was so attached to what America helped me with. Now the garage is closing. All right. What was I saying now? So I was so attached to becoming an American citizen. For me, that meant freedom. And it's true, because if you don't have papers, I did, but it was limiting. It is hard to live in a foreign country. And I know that, like, for example, in Italy, it's even worse. Like, if you are from anywhere else in the world and you were born in Italy, but your parents, for example, were from somewhere else, you still are not an Italian citizen. Can you freaking believe it? I'm not gonna go there either. Oh my gosh, this video, I don't wanna go into politics. I don't wanna go into who's right or wrong, but you know, you feel me? So, again, I'm super blessed, okay? I am proud of having an American husband, you know, even with our little differences that we have, cultural differences. Although I'm very, very Americanized. As I said in my latest video, I have learned how to regulate my emotions. That didn't come just from trauma. It came also from a cultural behavior and learning. And so I had to unlearn that in order to get along with my husband, who's like a sweetheart, you know, like he's still an alpha man, but he's not someone who loses his temper. Is really easy to get along with if you are speaking with reason. If you lose the reason, then, you know, obviously it is hard to have a conversation with anyone unless you are from the same culture, and then you fight and you get along. But I couldn't understand at the beginning why my husband was still upset with me for certain things, or not upset, but like, why are you doing them? Like, what did I do? You know, like, was losing my temper and then behaving like nothing happened. Like, I know a lot of Latin people are similar to us Italian, because it's like we are hot, right? Not always in a good way, but like in other Italian men will understand, of course, that it's okay, we said what we had to say, now we are all good. Whether instead with my husband and with a lot of American guys that I've dated before him, he was like, okay, you need to control what comes out of your mouth, right? And so I had to learn how to do that. but not just with them, with people in general, be in control of more of my thoughts, not in a controlling way, but in a way that benefited me, and really be mindful of other people. So that was a big difference. It's funny that sometimes we want something so much, and then when we have it, we kind of don't want it anymore, or we don't care that much anymore. It's the lack of having something that makes us want it even more. It's like in relationships sometimes as well. So definitely I feel freer. I'm not an actress anymore, so I don't need those studios to hire me anymore. I feel complete because I have my family, business that fully completes me, my clients who are amazing, the people that I help every day, and I can do that remotely, no matter where I am in the world. But I have to say that living in this country allowed me to shift my perspective. And now in Italy, the coaching industry is more up and coming. There's more coaches there, but when I started, it was hard to have a conversation. When I started the self-development journey and I changed myself and I realized certain things and I did the healing, and I really started thinking differently and feeling differently and acting differently. One of the things that I've learned the most in this country that is beautiful, that it's like just, I'm so grateful that I have learned that, but also that I've seen proof of that over and over, and I'm the proof myself, is that you can have it all. In Italy, what I've been told, especially back in the days, what I grew up with, the mentality that my parents, because they didn't know any better, not because they didn't want me to go anywhere, but because that's what they experienced, is that or you're a wife and have kids and you still have to go to work if your husband is not rich, so help him with that, plus do it all, like clean and cook and all that. That's probably why I'm not a good chef, because I was like, I'm not subscribing to this patriarchal thing. Or you are a woman in career, that means that you shouldn't have kids, you shouldn't have a family, you shouldn't have all that. But what I have achieved and what I see over and over on the internet nowadays, what women are doing, is that we can have both. We can be present with our kids and have a business, a successful business, and also a relationship with our husbands that is successful and thriving. We can have it all, because it's not the amount of time that you're putting into something, is about the efficiency of it. Just that is everything. I'm very proud of being both. I'm proud of having Italian roots, even having an accent. I'm not hiding that anymore. I'm trying to speak better and learning English better and better, although ChatGPT says that my writing is not that bad. I have, make some mistakes here and there, probably when I talk even more, because I have to think about it. I correct myself, but it's not that bad. So I'm not hiding that. I'm proud of being an American citizen, because this country is really amazing and can give a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of fear, I have to be honest. Am I gonna talk about it now or not? I don't know. Okay, fine, I'm gonna talk about it now. I still have some time before I pick up my daughter. I have to be honest, I have a lot of fears here that I didn't have in Italy. A lot of amazing, beautiful things that keep me here, and that it's all worth it. The possibilities, the opportunities that my kids have and will have here are unbelievable. But also sometimes it is scary to me. I was out with a few friends for dinner one night, and one of those has older kids at elementary school, and they said that they did a rehearsal as if there were an active problem. I don't know what I can say or I cannot say on this platform, so I'm trying to let you imagine. And so how to find shelter. And I'm like, are you serious? You know, how crazy that is to me. When I was single, I was fearless because it was just me that I had to think about. You know, I was trying not to go out with creepy people. I was locking my doors. But other than that, you know, I probably risked it a few times. But now that I have kids, it became even, my worry became even bigger. You know, home invasions and kidnapping and all these weapons and things that I didn't have that in Italy when I grew up. And so, and maybe even in the United States, there wasn't this much. But there are so many things that I worried about that sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I should go back. But I feel that this is my home now. And I feel that I need to empower, actually for myself, I talk about for me, for my family, I need to empower my kids to have the knowledge of not putting themselves into trouble, to have the knowledge of, you know, regulate social media for them when they're age appropriate, to allow them to be kids, to allow them to get bored, and to make them really travel the world. I think that is really important because hopefully they will see that the problem that they are facing in that moment, where they're you know, high school, middle school, elementary school, and people are, you know, there's a lot of bullyism and all the things, they realize that that is not the only reality that they're living. There is so much more in the world and out there for them. And hopefully they will learn, speak two languages. I'm trying with my daughter. It's not really easy, but she speaks a few words, probably the same the way I spoke English when I moved here. Probably she speaks Italian. So I need some work to do with her. She needs to learn a little more and go there a little more. But I feel that giving opportunities to our kids, it starts with expanding their minds and allowing them to travel and see different cultures, different point of views, different type of people, and so that they can decide where to live, who to be, what to do, and how to interact with the world themselves. Yeah, and this is my take after living in the United States for 14 years. I'm happy and thriving here. But I definitely, it's hard to see your parents getting older. I'm not gonna cry, but seeing your parents that are not being grandparents with your kids, that's not easy. So I hope that my kids will explore the world one day. You know, your kids come through you, but they're not yours. But then they're gonna come back to mama. And that if they will ever have kids, that they'll allow me to be a granny, you know. And hopefully they're gonna move in a country that I speak the language, because my mom and dad, they do not speak English, and it's very hard for them to interact with my kids. With my son, yes, because he's not even one yet, but with my daughter, you know, it's kind of hard to see them struggle. They don't really speak with my husband, which is great. They speak through an app. There's an instant translator. And I think there's a lot more to say about this. I feel fortunate enough to have experienced both. I feel that I lived multiple lives, multiple identities, and, you know, we always grow and evolve. And so, yeah, I don't know if I have final words for this video. Just to follow what you feel in that moment, because it's always the right thing. Think through it, but, you know, if you have a desire to move or to visit a country or to launch your business or whatever that is, whatever it is that dream for you, to go for it, because I don't know, I talk about this very often, but your life can be in a totally different place by just one single decision that you're going to make today. And that doesn't mean that you have to leave behind anything, you know. It doesn't have to be permanent. It can be step by step. It can be one step at a time. Anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna say something more on this topic or not. I feel I covered a lot of things. Is there anything else? You let me know if you want me to cover anything else that you're curious about, or you want to know more of between, you know, the two countries and two cultures. As far as today, I have American friends and Italian friends equally. There was a time when I moved here, I actually cut ties a little bit with Italians, especially Italians in this country, because I needed to learn the language. I needed to learn the culture. I wanted to immerse myself completely and fully into this new world. And now probably I want both, because they're both amazing. Anyway, subscribe to this channel if you like this, if you want more of this. You know, this is a little different from what I usually do, but I think it's important for you to know a little bit more of my story, and my roots, and perhaps that inspired you a tiny bit to take the next step for whatever it is that you are wanting to achieve. Ci vediamo nel prossimo video. Ciao ciao!